Welcome back to the LEC. We're here for...
I wanted to be as cute as the Poros.
You're cuter.
Aw, thanks. Anyway.
We're here for Misfits versus G2. Misfits already eliminated from playoffs, and you might wonder, does this game really matter for G2?
Wait, the music's going to ruin it for you.
You're so good at this, thank you. We're waiting, guys. We're waiting.
Hit him with the stakes.
I've got the stakes.
Hit
Misfits are out of playoffs. They cannot get through anymore. Origin and Vitality will join them out of playoffs because none of those teams can lock in anymore. However, G2 are already locked into playoffs, and a win here actually keeps them in the playoff, in the race for second place in the league.
So they can get the same score as Rogue in theory.
Yes, because if Rogue lose their last two, G2 win their last two. They're both 1-1 on head-to-head. However, I think G2...
Wait, they're not 1-1 to head-and-head. They're 2-0. G2's
Oh, G2 are 2-0 head-to-head, so they win the tiebreaker. Done.
Yeah.
Done. Also, Fnatic, Exile, and Schalke are fighting for the last two spots in our playoff race. We have 4 teams locked in. Mad, Rogue, G2, and SK.
But Schalke's... we'll get into that later. Let's not talk about Schalke now. Yeah. G2 versus Misfits.
There are some stakes, although this is much less intense than the other games we've had today.
Yes. Now, I do imagine both these teams to still take this very seriously. Of course, G2 can put themselves in a much better position when it comes to playoffs, and it feels to me that with the amount of prep that so many of these teams have done coming to the end of this final weekend, they want to put on a strong showing. So, Medic, quickly run us through the bans.
Yep, Misfits on the blue side got rid of Kalista, Syndra, and the Volibear. Thresh, Gangplank, and Fiddlesticks taken away by G2. Of course, Razork, a well-known Fiddlesticks player after he brought it out against the Mad Lions.
Yeah, looks like G2 going to showcase that respect. But of course, with the Caitlyn open, Misfits going to grab that one up. G2, the only team in the league so far to actually hand Caitlyn a loss, and they're going to answer with a Jhin as they did yesterday. So
I actually had a look at some of the stats across the leagues. Caitlyn has a positive win rate into Jhin in the LEC and in the LPL. However, in the LCK, Caitlyn has only won 2 of the 8 times she's played into a Jhin. And so I can understand, perhaps there is something in scrims that is happening that makes this Jhin a good Caitlyn counter, just doesn't seem to be working out for LEC teams.
We asked Perkz last night about it on PGL, and he talked about how Jhin has just a very strong laning. And so when you pair it up with certain supports, you can just kind of force all ins and you can actually be a bit aggressive. So yeah. I think that it can work. The question is, how much do you invest into that lane and what support matchup you get? What I think is really interesting here is that Misfits have drafted the blind Cho'Gath. Now, they could be assuming that the Sett is going top lane, but I think that's a very bold assumption to make. They could also potentially put that Cho'Gath in mid lane, but I'm quite surprised that you would just blind pick this champion, because I really don't think it's just blind pickable. So we'll have to wait and see how things pan out when you pair the Caitlyn up with the Bard. Of course, you do have a very powerful 2 versus 2, but then again, Bard really likes to roam, really likes to impact the rest of the map, whereas Caitlyn, very much about lane dominance, wants to play for that 2 versus 2, want to get those early towers as quickly as you can. So we'll see how this pairing matches up. Meanwhile, G2 are going to answer with a very strong 2v2 in the form of the Jhin and the Nautilus. Extremely strong dueling prowess. We got to see it yesterday from Perkz and Mikyx. Even though they lost the level 1, though when they hit level 3, they immediately got a kill back in that 2 versus 2. So we'll see how they utilize that, as we see the Sett still very flexible, being able to put in both the jungle and the top and even support role from time to time.
Definitely can be. The Mordekaiser banned away by Misfits. They don't want anything good into that Cho'Gath in the top lane. It's the first time we've seen Misfits bring out Cho this split, either in the mid lane or in the top lane. I also want to just mention I really like the Bard pick into Jhin, because as soon as Jhin pops the curtain call, you're just like, hey, you want some golden bullets?
That's
Here we are. You're playing GoldenEye. It's one-shot headshot, but you only get one shot because the Tempered Fate will stop you. Lee Sin taken away from Razork. His most plays this split, so no real surprises there.
Looks like Misfits right now are just banning away some of the answers. The Lilia ban.
I see. I think, and I think you're the one that told me that Lilia hasn't really been popping up in scrims that much from what you've heard.
Yeah.
I think this is a Misfits Gaming saying, hey, G2, this is a slightly more for fun game for you, perhaps. Maybe you bring something out that we just haven't practiced against. We have no idea how to play against the deer, so we're just going to remove it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think good. Yeah. Anyway, Zoe gonna be logged in for caps of the. So Zoe doesn't have a great win rate in the LEC.
4 wins.
And Abadage and Caps are actually the only 2 mid laners in the league to win on this champion.
Correct.
So Caps may have felt threatened after seeing Abadage's godlike performance earlier in the day.
I mean, part of that was the fact that she had a cat on her shoulder just being like, oh, you took some damage, here, have a healing. Oh, you took some damage, here, have a healing.
I also think Abadage also played that very well.
He did play it very well.
But Febiven going to respond with the Orianna in the mid. I think this can be a pretty good matchup for the Orianna. You have a lot of agency, you can trade very effectively, but if you ever get hit by that trouble bubble, you are in danger. But a lot of pick potential right now on the roster of G2 Esports. Misfits going to round things out with Razork on the Olaf. All right, Misfits composition confuses me a little bit. They have like a lot of different things going on right now. We'll talk a little bit more about it when we get into game. Let's have a look at how G2 choose to round out their draft. They've known about this Cho'Gath for a while, and we can see quite a few hovers coming through from G2. Only a couple seconds left.
Fiora would be really interesting into the Cho in the top lane, but instead, we're calling for a doctor. It's going to be Mundo in the top lane for Wunder. Gives you that beefy front line, you know, Sett, Mundo, Nautilus.
Denyk, why are you not more surprised about the fact that Dr. Mundo just got locked in?
G2.
It's Dr. Mundo.
Okay, yes. I should be more surprised about that. You are correct. I think I've reached my level of surprise with the LEC this year. I've topped out. It was probably a couple of Schalke wins ago.
Yeah. A Dr. Mundo. I'm pretty confident in saying that this will be our first Dr. Mundo of the year in the LEC. Could very well have been the first Dr. Mundo for a while in the LEC. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Does very well into AP champions in the top lane. Gets a lot of innate magic resistance. And with the double AP threat on the side of Misfits, I think this Mundo could be very good. We're going to see how it works out as we're going to be jumping into Misfits versus G2 Esports.
And on to Summoners Rift we go. Vedius. Quick game before we get on into the action.
Quick game?
Quick game. You ready?
Okay.
Oh, let's just log into League and we can play. No. When do you think the last time Mundo was played in the LEC?
2014.
What did you just... There's no way it was 2014. You've ruined it. You're like, you've wrecked the game. You're one of those people who's like, how much do you think some butter costs? £100! It's like, well, obviously it doesn't cost £100.
I mean, some butter probably costs £100.
Exactly. 2018, summer.
Oh.
Who do you think played it?
Was it Wunder?
It was Alfari. Who do you think he was against?
Wunder.
Yeah. Do you think he won?
No.
Yeah, it did.
Oh.
Alfari won with Mundo. Last time it was played in the LEC against G2, and now they're here for revenge.
All right. So as a complete aside, do you know about the player that has like, he only plays Mundo, and he has the same build on Mundo every game, and he has like over 10,000 Mundo games.
I do not know about this
It's
player.
unbelievable. There's this one player, I'll try and find it for you, but he builds the same thing every game. His dedication is immaculate. And the reason why I bring that up is because while he's not the best League of Legends player, I have learned some things from him as about Mundo. Number one, you should always upgrade your boots. He never does. Never. Literally ever. But Mundo, really important that you upgrade your boots. Because the thing about Mundo is he doesn't have any innate gap closers. So you kind of want that early mobility fast. Speaking of mobility, Jankos is going to use his to try and set up a gank onto Febiven. Going to force the flash out early from him.
Febiven saw that coming.
Yes,
and was just a little greedy in his position.
Why? I just don't think he expected Jankos to be that fast coming from the river, if I'm being honest. Because I think his positioning was fine, but then the gap closed very, very quickly and he realized, uh-oh, I am in danger. But yeah, he's going to use this opportunity to steal away the red buff. I want to keep talking about Mundo, though, because the thing about Mundo is he's, like, really strong when it comes to duels.
Yeah.
He gets so much AD from his E that, like, it's ridiculous. You get so much innate magic resistance, you get so much additional attack damage whenever you activate it, and if you do land a cleaver, it becomes very difficult to escape from him as well, because he can just keep utilizing it, and he also gets a heal off of it if he lands it as well. So while it does cost health, he also is able to get that back, assuming he's landing it. Yeah. So the thing is, again, he doesn't have any innate gap closers. So that's why boots and movement speed is very important. That's why you often see things like early Merc treads, because mitigating a lot of that early CC can be very valuable for you. And when you stack that with the ultimate, you are one speedy boy. So you've got a Jhin, you've got a Mundo, you've got a
Zoe?
Sett.
Oh, okay.
You have a lot of champions that just really want to run fast.
Ah, okay, I get it.
So what I want to see from Mikyx, maybe a Shurelya's, maybe?
Yeah, I like it. I like Shurelya's. I was wondering if perhaps you'd see Jankos going like Deadman's Plate as well for that extra movement speed to close some of those gaps. Could, of course, get Righteous Glory early on. Slight CS lead for Perkz and Mikyx in the bottom lane as Jankos went red to blue. So he's actually rebuffed Razork as Razork takes the top side Scuttlecrab. But because of the speed that Olaf clears at, Razork is actually just ever so slightly ahead in terms of XP. Wait, you diving this?
Well, he has no flash, and there's 4 of them. Looks like they're going to dive this.
Oh my goodness gracious me, that minion's going to die. Mikyx lands the hook, there's the root, the sleep comes, wow.
Well done, that was a clean dive.
That was beautiful!
Yeah, very well done. They get the early flash, they look to punish it. Now Razork going to face check into Jankos.
Do you win these? He's got Haymaker. Haymaker's going to come at Razork. Do you win this?
Razork wins this, yeah, Razork wins this.
Jankos still has flash. Jankos could just flash across the wall, and Razork does not win this video.
Yeah, he wins the 1v1, doesn't win 3v1.
You just saw them tower dive your mid laner. You know it's not a 1v1.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was the right decision. You asked me if he wins that, and I'm saying he wins that 1v1, doesn't win what just happened afterwards, okay? So,
they walked over the board as well.
Oh, observe.
Oh, no.
Look at the dramatic zoom in where they get like, look, Misfits know this is happening. They see the rotation. But the problem is, right, while this may be true observers, in a situation like this, Febiven basically has to run to his tit. Actually, no, you're right. No, observers, you know what? You're fair. He actually could have just left so much earlier than he actually did. And he probably could have lived this.
It's like, do you expect that to happen, though?
I mean, you should. I think you should.
Okay.
Especially without flash, yeah. And so in this situation, like, I think Razork legitimately wins that 1v1. But then, of course, not 1v1. Surprise! 4 members of G2 just dived the tower, and 3 of them are still around there. So that's 2 quick kills going over to G2.
Was an honorable death, though, surrounded by 4 foes. So he goes to Valhalla, which is really nice for the Olaf, obviously. Can have a little bit of wine, a little bit of feasting before he gets back onto Summoner's Rift. G2 with a 800 and 800 gold lead early on here. Vedius in a really strong position. What summoners did they burn, though? Mikyx burned his flash and his ignite. Does still have the Hex Flash. Caps burned everything in the mid lane. And Jankos also burnt a flash.
He already has a lost chapter. We're 5 minutes into the game, and Caps has a lost chapter. That's scary. That is very, very scary.
I wonder how far ahead is he in gold already? Observers. He's about 500 gold. Okay, yeah.
He is the goal difference right now. Of course, Razork, because... Ooh, level 6. Mundo, he's gonna die.
Dan has the feast, Dan has the feast. No, Mundo survives! He dodges to the side, he's on 19 HP. And he actually manages to escape.
Slow,
the cleaver, infected cleaver. Oh my god. Oh, Wunder, that was 19 HP.
Oh my words. Mundo's a dumb champion. Anyway, Hex Flash. Jankos looking for another.
Another, yes, he is. Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands there. Shockwave available now for Febiven as he hits level 6. Caps yet to get to that mark, so the Paddle Star did not do as much damage as he wanted.
Yeah, and they don't really get a huge amount off the back of that, only a bit of a favorable trade. Meanwhile, in the 2v2 down bot, while Kobbe does have a CS advantage, things are very even in that lane for the time being. You can see that Perkz and Mikyx actually have pressure here. denyk is going to look for an opportunity to roam. But so in the draft, what I was talking about as to why Misfits comp seems a little wacky to me is that you kind of have a lot of different champions that want to do different things. Caitlyn wants to be playing towards tower. Ooh, flash in, good hook.
X-Flash hook. Deadly Forest going to land as well. Kobbe able to get to the Caretaker Shrine and we'll just heal up. Exhaust was used on Perkz.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that shows the 2v2 power of this lane. But also, this is why the support matchup is really important for things like a Caitlyn and why things like Morgana are also very valuable, because the Black Shield mitigates a lot of these all-in bot lanes that try to prevent the Caitlyn from doing what she does. And so when you do pair it up with a Bard, while you can have some lane dominance, because of course you have two ranged champions, we don't have time though, as Jankos flash, Hex flashes in rather.
Febiven has flash. He uses it afterwards and cleanses away. Paddle Star doesn't quite connect there from Perkz, but he's going to flash forward and get the ignite down. Stole a flash, used his own ignite. And Febiven just, that felt a little like he just wasn't respecting the fact that Jankos could just close that gap.
I mean, Febiven is being attacked this game.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. It's just one of those games where Jankos is like, you know what? I want to make Caps MVP of the game. and he's like, all right, whoever the enemy mid laner is, you will suffer. And so it's just gank after gank after gank. So Febiven, while sure, he could definitely do some things better, it feels like that a lot of G2's focus right now is trying to get this Zoe ahead. And they're doing a very good job of it. Kobbe and denyk trying to be obnoxious. That interrupt was actually very good because it's going to allow Misfits bot lane to actually get the base first, because G2's bot lane is going to be forced to clear this wave. Now Wunder has found Dandan, going to go for a bit of trading.
Let's see what Mundo can do. Burning Agony ticking, Masochism already used, Infected Cleaver, Vetcha dodged to the side and Sadism popped. Betty, you think he's going to kill him?
I think he's going to kill him.
You think he's going to kill him? The doctor says he's dead on arrival. Dandan goes down.
Oh, Mundo.
I wish there was more Wunder. I could use all my medical puns now.
Yes, you can.
It's great.
There's a doctor on the Rift. Is he an actual qualified doctor?
Did you know?
Though? Is he registered?
Mundo isn't actually a doctor.
Really?
Yeah, it's one
Wait,
of the
are you one of
tips
those?
that comes up.
Are you one of those rude people that say people with a PhD aren't?
Oh,
really
I'm not.
doctors?
No, I'm not a doctor gatekeeper. Okay. If I could be a doctor, anyone who's earned that right could be a doctor. Yes.
So he's not a real doctor.
It says it in one of the tooltips. He's not a real doctor. Yeah.
So don't trust his medical advice.
I think part of his lore is like he pretends to be a doctor, but just accidentally hurts people all the time when he tries to heal them, and that's exactly what Razork is doing as he tries to chase down Jankos, gets the kill with the undertow. Perkz will get, well, Mikyx will get it in response, but Razork wins those. He wins those right now, Vedius. Curtain call coming out. No one's really that low, and of course, it's more damage the lower you are, so it's just gonna end up chunking out some of those minions.
Well, Misfits finally get themselves on the board. Razork, very hard committing into that play, does end up taking down Jankos for his first death of the game. But Misfits, unfortunately, not able to convert that into any real objective. The bright side is the bot wave actually looks like it's pushing in their favor. Yeah, it definitely should be pushing in their favor. So Kobbe can just sit back, wait for that wave to come closer to him. And Misfits still doing fine in the farm department, but of course, their top laner died 1 versus 1. Their mid laner continuously gets attacked, and G2 just slowly, but also, well, I say slowly, I was going to say slowly but quickly, building their gold lead.
Slowly,
I talk for a living, by the way, viewers at home.
I think there is a certain energy around this game with it not having the stakes that every other game has had, where we're being a little bit more loose as Febiven always gets chunked out by Caps.
I just feel bad for Febby, because like, in all seriousness, when you just look at the stats, right, this split and last split, he's actually been very consistent.
Yeah.
Right? So even though he's not like a statistical standout, you have to appreciate that he's also on a team that doesn't win a lot, right? But last split, when we spoke about him, he was someone that was in the conversation for mid-split MVP, and he was regarded as one of the best mids in the league, and I think that one of the problems for Febiven is that other mids have been stepping up, and he's kind of been overshadowed by the fact that so many things have been going wrong for Misfits this split as well. But I also want to recognize that Febiven has played very well this split, and I think that he is still someone that, after coming back from North America, received a lot of criticism, a lot of scrutiny, because he wasn't playing at the level that we used to see from him. But I think that this year especially, he's really been able to rebuild to that status, and it's just been unfortunate that he hasn't really been able to have the same success that he's had in the past, because last split they were able to get 5th. Wait. No, 6th, because they ended up losing to Rogue in the first round of the playoffs, right? So while they did qualify for playoffs, they weren't really able to get that far, and for Febiven and for Misfits, like, this year just definitely hasn't been a promising one. So a lot of thinking to do, a lot of reevaluating, and we'll see how Misfits evolve into the next year. But yeah, I do think that even though so much has happened around Misfits, Febiven has still been like a very solid rock, a very consistent performer throughout the year.
I agree with you there. I think he is... the problem I always have with that is, even if he's playing well, there is a point at which you get into nuke duck territory. And it's kind of a, you are consistently good, but you are always average. He's not there, but I'm thinking you give him another year around here.
Also, you just like throw nuke duck straight under the bus there.
I think that's okay right now.
I mean, that's fair.
I think nuke duck is a consistently good player. I do not think he has the moments of greatness I expect from European top-tier mids.
I mean, that's fair.
And I think Febiven is starting to walk towards that as well. He has been better recently, but this split and a couple of last splits, he struggled just a little bit.
Well, I'm still a bit of a Febiven believer, and I look forward to seeing what he can do next year. Meanwhile,
that was too late.
A little late. So
didn't get the minions, though.
They get the minions. G2 going to secure the mid-tier 1, 12.5 minutes into the game.
Yep. And Caps has got all of that gold.
There's also starts where I was like, this is why I feel bad for Febiven, because while I feel like he's had a, you know, an alright split, a solid split, like he's just been attacked by G2, and you can see the gold gap between the two mid laners right now.
I do like the comparison between the junglers as well. Like Razork's got the extra 500. Jankos just been like, nah, mate, we'll give it all to Caps.
Yep.
He's at 6,200, and the closest is Wunder at 4,800.
He's already working towards his second item. We're 13 minutes into the game.
I'm interested by the hose build, the GLP 800, because I feel you could have just gone flat out damage here because you're so far ahead that you just burst people.
See, now I regret not paying more attention to Ronaldo.
Yeah, did you not watch the episode? Because I was trying to set you up for this.
No, Shotguys and I talked a lot about how, but also Ender. I've spoken a lot about this to Ender, where things like Ludens, there's a debate around Ludens versus GLP, where you can actually get
more burst out of the GLP
than you actually can from the Ludens.
See, that was in a recent episode of Level Up, I believe.
It wasn't in Level Up.
Meta Report?
It was in maybe Meta Report.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys should watch those videos, because we use it here, and they say it better than we do.
What it ultimately boils down to is that there's always a debate about how pro players build, right? Like, I mean, LS talks about it probably the most, but when you look at itemization, there's always question marks around, like, are pro players really optimizing their build paths? Sometimes pros, like, is that fun one where it's like, I feel this item does better in this situation.
Yeah, it's
I feel
but mathematically, it's just less efficient.
And this is one of those things where, by the numbers, it's seen that the Hextech GLP can, in fact, do more burst. But I can't remember if it's contextual depending on the champion that you play.
I believe it is, and it's usually it's like cooldown gated and such as well. Like if you need to use multiple cooldowns, different anyway.
Either way, the point that we want to get to is like, there's nothing wrong with Caps building this.
Yep.
He's thought about it. It makes sense. I think that the whole goal is to give you a little bit more burst, and we imagine he's going to go for the death cap next, which is then just going to even further add to his burst.
Ace in the hole used here. Perkz takes about 200 HP damage. Looks like he's running overheal as well, so he's just shielded up on that Jhin with the fleet footwork. Curtain Calls is going to open up. One shot connects, the second hits, the third, the paddle star.
What?
And the ignite is ticking. Stopwatch procced. Febiven falls to the final tick of the fiery flames of ignite.
Observers, I need a replay of that hook, please. Please give me that replay.
Vedi, as a Nautilus main, I don't want to highlight.
I need that replay.
Okay, can we just ignore the hook as the mid inhib? Oh, we can't do. I'm hearing over my headset. We can't do replays because mid inhibitor's down, and that's much more important. Totally agree with you there, Kevin. Great choice.
All right, well, G2 going to back off of that one. They now have a 5.5. Oh, we're getting the replay. All right, thank you so much.
If you could cut it off just as the hook goes out.
All right, so this sets up with the slows coming out from Perkz. He lands all 3 shots. Oh my, he bent it! He bent it around the turret!
You know who he's been watching? Angelina Jolie in Wanted. Like, yeah, just if you add some spin on it, you know, like top spin. you press the keyboard, but then you rotate it at the same time.
Oh, Nautilus hook. Bless you.
So
poor Febi.
Yeah, if anyone is wondering why that happens the way it does, the middle of the hook hitbox has a hit indicator, but then as it gets to the end, there's a lollipop around the tip of the hook, right? So it's like this extra circle of, oh, I've caught you, right at the end of the hook's range. And that's why you can miss the obstacle and catch someone who's standing behind it.
Oh, Nautilus, you always bring me such joy.
Yep.
In any case, G2 are dominating right now.
Yeah, they're in a pretty strong position.
Matchup. And as a reminder, Misfits, of course, have been eliminated from playoff contention. They will not be moving on into the postseason, whereas G2 right now are fighting for
possibly
second place.
Second, yeah.
Of course, it's not in their control. They need Rogue to lose. And if Rogue lose both their games, G2 win both their games, then they can match them in score. And because G2 has the head-to-head, they are 2-0 versus Rogue this split, then they would take second place.
Yep.
Medic, maybe you can confirm for me, based on the points, would they actually secure first? Or?
No. So G2 can actually no longer get first seed into playoffs.
Got it.
Because they can't catch Mad Lions, and Mad Lions have enough points from Spring to get equal at least with G2.
Right.
And because Mad Lions will have placed higher in Summer, that counts for more.
But by being second in playoffs, you can't be chosen by the first.
So G2, if the season ends right now, because of the way championship points work, we would have Mad Lions in first, seeded into playoffs, this is. G2 seeded into playoffs second, and Rogue seeded into playoffs third.
Yes.
Which means Rogue could be selected by Mad Lions, and of course G2 avoid the rematch of the first round of playoffs from last
and remember
split.
that Mad Lions were the team that actually delivered G2's first domestic best-of-5 loss with this roster.
Yeah.
So definitely an exciting team to watch, and they're going to be playing next up against Rogue.
Battle for first.
So that big fight
really
for first, exactly that. Meanwhile, G2 continuing to dominate here against Misfits. It has, of course, been a very difficult split for Misfits. A lot of debate around the supports. Razork not really playing the same form that he was last split, where he had that same early game dominance. He had a couple games, but not really being able to live up to it. And now G2, they're looking to force another fight.
Curtain Call comes out, the sleep's going to land onto denyk. Mikyx in range for the hook, but there's minions in the way. The Facebreaker going to come back. The Haymaker almost called them out. Shockwave used from Febiven, as you say, it's really good, but even with a Temper Fake, can Misfits re-engage? It's Kobbe, he needs to get in position, put the traps down, teleport coming in from Misfits as Dandan looks to join the fray, but you can't get close enough. The GLP, the Frozen Hose, will slow up Misfits, even with a magical journey.
Here comes Mundo!
Bubble is eaten, and Caps goes on a killing spree. The Doctor is in the house, Vedius, and he is delivering sisterly to his opponents. Misfits have to flash away from Wunder's CPR that he is bringing to them. You take an injection, you get an injection, and a final infected cleaver does just go wide. But the showstopper from Jankos will stop Febiven's heart for 35 seconds. You say that.
He's dead.
Oh, yes, okay.
He's dead. Wow. G2 were able to turn that fight around pretty convincingly. Things were looking actually pretty positive for Misfits here. Notice that it's G2 that start this fight by committing once again onto poor Febiven. The ultimate comes through to apply that slow, and they're trying to land the crowd control, but denyk does body block it for Febiven. Then Jankos with the flash in, double stun. The minions get killed fast enough for Mikyx to land the hook. And then the shockwave comes in from Febiven to group the two up, and then a lot of damage comes down onto Caps. And then this is where you're thinking, okay, Misfits, they can actually get a good fight here, but then the quick flashes come out from Caps and Mikyx, and and then really good use of the Hextile GLP here from Caps, applied with the slow.
It catches him as he goes through.
denyk ends up walking through, which then allows Caps to be able to secure this kill after the hook connects. Actually, the hook connects onto Caitlyn as well.
Yeah, it just only hits onto Kobbe. Perkz gonna get chased down here. Ragnarok used. Flash forward.
Nice sidesteps.
I mean, you can't sidestep auto attacks. That's the shame there. And Misfits get their third kill of the game. They are 8,000 gold behind at the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, I'm surprised Caps doesn't have Mejai's. Oh, he does have the ring though, so he is starting
the Dark
to build
Seal,
those.
yeah.
The Dark Seal.
One ring to rule them all. One ring to find them.
You know, I think Wunder's putting himself in a position to actually get a player of the game away from Caps.
Do you really?
I think the fans might vote for Mundo.
So, who's doing player of the games at the moment? Ender, right?
Probably.
Ender, you listening? Don't put Wunder on the list. There's only one Doctor in the LEC.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay? Thanks, mate.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. Medic trying to establish dominance over
I don't think
a
I can
fictional
ever
character.
win.
Fair enough.
He's not a real doctor, Vedius. He can't just go out there and lie.
Okay.
Why do you think I've never let you play Doctius?
I just thought that you were worried I'd be more accurate than you.
I mean, it's very true. Wunder is going to get chased down here in the bottom lane, but he will heal through all of this. Sadism is just too darn strong, and denyk's like, hey, I'm out of here. Don't want any more of this action.
Oh, and now G2. Oh, I thought they would actually look for the collapse on this. They are definitely setting up for the next Drake. Oh, and of course it's the Cloud Soul. Cloud Soul for Mundo.
More ultimates every moment. Febiven caught out just a little bit. GLP into the ace in the hole. The shockwave, they shot down the Caps. And that's waited by the Soul Stealer. The chase is still on here. Temper Fate's going to hit Mikyx. As you say, perhaps a little bit of an overstep from G2. Gargoyles on Mikyx will keep him pretty tanky for the moment, but Caitlyn does a lot of work, and the shutdown comes out for Dandan. And you're delaying the Cloud Soul as well. Like, a few of these moments could be really good for Misfits.
Mundo
could mean they can turn this game around.
But doesn't have ult. Okay, so G2 actually going to be forced to give this one away. Good punish there from Misfits. As you rightly said, they will deny the soul. But the bonus movement speed is so beneficial for G2's comp as well. let's have a look back and as to how all this started. Caps, good utilization of the ultimate there to try and get a flank onto Febiven. I feel like Jhin has only ulted Febiven this game. But
personal.
really good use of the GLP then coming back from Febiven to land the shockwave into the kill. And with Caps dead, this then makes the chase down for Misfits very easy. So what looked initially like a good flank actually ends up becoming a great collapse from Misfits to be able to reclaim some control over the game.
I will give credit to denyk as well. His Tempered Fates have been on point in the last couple of fights. Caught 3 in the bot lane, managed to catch out Mikyx there. It's still a long road back for Misfits. Kobbe's gone Stormrazor second on the Caitlyn, alongside that Infinity Edge. Febiven's now got a Spellbinder.
The Freak build.
I thought he went Stormrazor third, but it might be second. Anyway, he definitely has the Stormrazor.
No, but you prioritize Infinity Edge into Stormrazor.
Oh yeah,
you get these two very early because the attack speed scaling of Caitlyn
isn't really good,
isn't that value. So you're better off just getting the AD, and then you do get some attack speed from the Stormrazor as well.
Yep.
So
and then third item, you don't go rapid fire cannon, do you? You go something else.
I forget.
Anyways, yes.
I know the point of this build is that you don't then have that mid-game lull where, you know, because on 2 items, Caitlyn doesn't feel that good, but she should feel much stronger being on this itemization. Yep. So that's the idea behind it anyway. Good Tempered Fate once again.
Gonna catch a couple. Febiven looking for the shockwave. Doesn't land as Perkz is able to walk out and Caps is able to flash. Wunder in the bottom lane. Pushed up the waves. Now gonna base and can just teleport to this fight. He is level 15.
Wow, they're just going to start this. Well, I suppose with the Shockwave gone, that's one of the big ultimates that they're not afraid of. Good vision control coming out from G2 as well. But the far side...
Dandan's kind of just in the wrong place, right? If Dandan was here, he could flash in Feast, but I think that's really the only way that Misfits could get this Baron away. Hook misses there from Mikyx. Not sure how he did that with the Nautilus hitbox. Razork's going to take a lot of damage as well as 3,000 HP left on the Baron. The sleep goes down. There's the Ragnarok, and you can see the side set's coming out, but Caps just jumps forward, ignites, and kills Razork. Caps is going to get feasted, though. The Baron will go down in favor of G2, and now the chase is on. Wunder, level 16, 100%, max HP healing. He will not die. He will never die. His name is Wunder, and he will chase you down. He will stick cleavers in your face over and over, and he might die. He died, and so did Mikyx. Good stuff, Misfits.
He died, Vedius.
Yep. Oh, chase is on.
Perkz looking to get revenge for his top laner. Oh, Kobbe!
Kobbe's doing as much as he can. The red buff ticking away. Perkz has that last shot, has flash up in just a second, doesn't need it. Double kill to Perkz. And if you all close your eyes and forget that Wunder died.
Forget everything. Does that go into the bucket of he's 17 years old?
I'll be honest, took some creative liberties.
Great medic moment. So like, hang on, I'm gonna break this replay down perfectly. You're gonna love it. Now, I think that G2's goal here is to just try and force a fight. They know they're so much stronger. Good knockup from Dandan to be able to get this initial kill into Caps. With the jungler gone, they can't really steal away the Baron. And Wunder's feeling himself here. As Benix saying, like, he shouldn't die here. He's so strong. He has so much healing. And
Mikyx baits him.
It's at this point that you can start to see the self-doubt that comes in for Medic. Dandan dying down in the bot side, but as Wunder slowly gets lower, Medic's still thinking, no, it's fine. It doesn't matter how many crits he lands. It doesn't matter if the exhaust comes down. There's no way he could... Oh, wait, they're both, in fact, dead.
It's Mikyx's fault, man. If that had been Wunder 1v2, Wunder would have...
Don't think so. Really well played by Kobbe.
That's some damage from Kobbe right there. Has the rapid fire cannon complete now.
Infinity Edge Stormrazor does some damage at 2 items.
It also helps when someone is just running face first into your bullets.
I mean, that is part of, you know, Mundo's problem, right? 600 range versus, you know, a guy that's like, oh, I'm just going to lob things at you and hope for the best.
I mean, Pantheon does the same. Just with slightly sharper spears. Febiven once again the target of the curtain call, able to dodge out of the back of it. One last shot being held by Perkz. The tower down to about half. Good shockwave here from Febiven, though. Jankos really quite low. The Ragnarok goes out, but already Jankos is dead. And Kobbe's going forward once again. You can see here, Wunder will survive for a long time, but might die at some point as Perkz going to get chased off towards the side. He's dead! Kobbe with a shutdown, and G2 have been held at the inhibitor towers by Misfits, by Kobbe. And I'll be honest, I've been joking a little bit. After I saw the mid lane inhib tower go down at 16 minutes, I wrote this game off. I've been having a bit of a laugh, but Misfits are having none of it.
Yeah, I mean, Kobbe is, he is smurfing right now. His positioning on the Caitlyn is coming in clutch, and he is utilizing the traps. He's getting those headshots off. G2 will not get the Dragon Soul once again. G2, they need to be careful with this aggression because it is consistently getting punished. And this is one of the things. This is why when we talked about the Cloud Soul, it was going to be very valuable for G2. But the more move speed, well, they don't get move speed. They get the ult cooldown reduction.
Yeah,
but if they do get the Cloud Soul, then like having that additional move speed will only make things harder for G2 to close the gap because they only really have Mikyx as that primary source of crowd control, and there's enough on Misfits' side to actually be able to avoid that, disengage from that, and so it can be very difficult for G2's comp to actually get on top of an Orianna and a Caitlyn, which is why if they keep losing these fights, I actually think there's a world in which Misfits can actually turn this game around.
And it's why you see Perkz cursing calling at the start of every fight, because it's like, if I can tag Febiven, Caps can then jump forward, land a Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and burst him out. But it hasn't worked these last couple of fights. 20% cooldown reduction on those ultimates for Misfits. That would be so good for the Shockwave, so good for the Feast, so good for the Ragnarok, even the Temp. Like, I mean, cooldown reduction is always good for your ultimate. It just works really well for you. And
except for Zoe.
I mean, it's still good.
No.
Just
not call once again.
Gonna catch Razork. He's the guy that wants to be eating those up. Dan's going to try and chase off Mikyx here. Cap's going to land the sleep on Dan though. That Cho'Gath's going to have a quick nap. Gets caught out. Showstopper going back as you can see Jankos trying to get in. Another hook just slides its way around the obstacle. The Tempered Bait coming out is going to capture on Perkz, and Mikyx and Febiven's going to do what he can with the Shockwave. Dan almost dies, but he is still alive somehow. Misfits have been able to disengage the fight.
Febiven with some really clutch shockwaves this game, and Kobbe continuing to stay untouched. G2 invested a lot into trying to kill Dan, but this Cho'Gath, very tanky, going with the Titanic Hydra build, has the Righteous Glory as well. You can see how this game is slowly starting to get harder, as you rightly said. We'd pretty much written this game off. It looked like G2 were just going to look to close this one out, but Kobbe now sitting at the top of the gold charts.
Caps was 2K ahead. That's a 5K gold switch between the two. And a lot of it's Kobbe's picked up a bunch of shutdowns, including, I think, a shutdown on Caps and one on Perkz. But that is a huge gold swing.
Yeah, and now that Caitlyn is very strong, of course. Things still in favor of G2 for the time being. And they're likely going to set up for this Baron, but let's see if Misfits can challenge. They have Dan's ultimate. They have the TP on the Cho'Gath as well. Febiven not running Flash right now, obviously on cooldown. Does have an Exhaust and an Ignite. Double Exhaust going to be valuable against G2's comp, as G2 looks to get a bit more poke damage down.
Yeah, Dan takes a bit of a chunk there. Only really has the Merc Treads for magic resist, so if Caps catches him out, he is going to be chunked out quite a lot, and Mundo actually does a lot of magic damage as well, so we'll see if they can survive through this. I mean, he's sitting at about 4,000 HP, so he's very tanky, very healthy Cho'Gath, even if he is a little bit susceptible to some of that AP. Febiven looking for a flank position here. Not going to Shockwave on Wunder, unsurprisingly. Doesn't only want to catch out the Mundo, who has that sadism. Baron now, once again, the option for G2 as they reset. Walk back through the river, have cleared out all of this vision that Misfits could have, and Misfits must know this is going on. They have the Tempered Fate for delay. They've got a couple of faster alterations. Here we go. There's one, 8,000 HP left on the Baron. Misfits come cascading through the river. Looking to see if they can find a catch. The root's going to land on Dan, and already the Baron is done. Mikyx taken out with the Beast. Jankos jumping onto the backline. This Paddle Star could be everything, but doesn't quite land from Caps. Perkz able to dodge to the side of the Shockwave. Dan flashing away from Perkz. Caps going in once again. The Paddle Star alongside the captive audiences gives Perkz the double. Kobbe flashes forward, misses the 90 caliber net, and Perkz takes the kill. This might be a penta. Oh, denyk, get back in reg. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. Perkz wants his penta. He's had an awful split as an AD carry. He just wants something to top it up. Okay, Wunder, how much of a nice guy are you? This is the question.
He's going to give it to him.
You can cleave or steal this. Oh, he misses.
He misses.
Is that enough time?
Bard is so fast.
Bard is so speedy, because you caretaker trying to speed us up.
Perkz has given up. Perkz has given up. denyk is able to avoid giving up the penta.
I think DOS would have given it. And I think that DOS greater than denyk. That's all we can work out from that play.
Well, with that, they have the Baron buff. I don't think they can end here, though. And it looks like they're not going to for the time being. This fight initially looked really good for Misfits, even though the Baron already goes down. The fact that Dan soaks up a lot of damage, the fact that Mikyx gets chunked almost immediately, and then you can see that Jankos suplexing what looked like a Tyrannosaurus Rex into his team. And then such... Yeah, I know who it was! It was... I mean, observers, I really love the cinematic. We just can't get over the fact that Sett literally just picked up a dinosaur and just...
Please don't do that in a serious game. Please. Oh. Wait, did he get... This is Mundo eye view.
Oh, he tries to think that, catch him out.
Okay, Cloud Soul secured now for G2. 9,000 gold lead. It just flipped over.
He did, yeah.
It's like a dog playing with one of his dinosaur toys. Anyway, G2 pushing in bot lane. Serious face on. 7 turrets to 0. 9,000 gold lead. Inhibitor tower the target. G2, if they win this, keep their hopes of second place alive. Their championship points from Spring may carry them to second in playoff seeding, even if they end third in the split, but they could lock second for themselves. Winning today and winning tomorrow with if Rogue lose. Perkz caught out with a tempered fate. Razork has the undertow, can go forward. Jankos with the double face breaker, and already Perkz is dead. Kobbe gets the shutdown, and now it's all on Kobbe to try and open up on this team. Wunder has popped his ultimate. The sadism ticking away, has the Baron, going to go towards these Nexus towers, and I wonder, can Misfits work their way through him quickly enough? Cap's going to keep chasing off Kobbe. Rupture dodged. Wunder no longer has the movement speed from his ult. Locked against the wall. And in the end, will fall, but the hook lands on Kobbe. He's knocked up with a death charge. The base breaker comes out and Kobbe goes down. Caps has a Talisman of Ascension. He's been shopping in the Legacy shop to pick that one up as they take the second inhibitor in this bottom lane. They're looking for more. denyk almost goes down. The hook lands from Mikyx, but no follow-up in terms of damage. And with Caps, the only guy really outputting any DPS of the remaining G2 players, you'd think they would disengage this, but Mikyx has other ideas as he stops Razork in his tracks. Razork has the Ragnarok almost on its way back up as Mikyx caught in the rupture, but has already buffered the dredge line away. Hex flash used by Jankos to get himself away. Temper Fate misses just to the side. Ragnarok popped here, but there's the showstopper. Jankos can't quite get the kill as Razork heals up. Jankos has a blast cone and will get into the Dragon Pit.
Whew. Well, that was a long and extended fight. Yeah. The reality is, G2, while they did secure an inhibitor and a Nexus tower, they're still not able to end the game. Misfits still alive and kicking. The Caitlyn is now full build. The Mortal Reminder also coming through for Kobbe, going to really hurt that health regeneration coming through from Wunder. But Wunder has some itemization of his own to make the Caitlyn's life a little difficult, with both the Randuin's Omen and the Bramble Vest. It's definitely going to help in that 1 versus 1 if he's even able to get on top of the Cape. The G2 still in control, likely going to wait for the next Baron. What should have been a one-sided stomp has been made a lot harder thanks to the efforts of Kobbe and Febiven and how they've been able to execute a lot of these fights. Some beautiful shockwaves, some good positioning from Kobbe, and honestly some great ultimates coming out from denyk as well.
Also, I really like the Randuin's Omen build here, not only for the active, but also it reduces critical strike damage by 20%. Caitlyn has 100% crit right now. You're just getting rid of so much damage from all of those auto attacks. It makes it so much easier to tank up an AD carry for a long time. Razork with the thumbs up. As Perkz steps straight into the shockwave. Febiven, yeah, once again, he's the target of everyone's affections. Depth charge gonna lock him away. The showstopper, he's dead now. Vedius, Jankos is like, I'm having some of that action. Jumps all the way to the back, and it's a 1-for-1 trade as Jankos goes down as well. Mid lane inhibitor spawning again in 45 seconds. Top lane, though, the target for G2 as they take the turret. Dan steps forward, Dan gets locked up. And even with all of your health, the Cho'Gath almost taken out. Tempered Fate misses. denyk goes down to Wunder, who gets the kill. Kobbe chased underneath his Nexus towers by Wunder as well, but Wunder's actually been knocked up there and will die to Kobbe. Caps going, oh my god. That was a lot of damage there from Caps. Dodges away from the rupture with a portal jump. And this is it. G2 will take the win. Misfits, unfortunately, still eliminated from playoff. No way back for them. Would have only been a consolation prize for them to take this. G2 once again playing with the Fountain Laser, as in the end they take the win, as they will in a moment take the victory. They will succeed in earning 1-0 in this game.
Wow. Pretty chaotic game, a lot of fun, a lot of fighting back and forth. I think we had like 40 kills at the very end of it. Kobbe doing a great job of trying to keep Misfits in that game, but it ends up being G2 who come out on top. Very clean early game for the vast majority of it from G2, and then it suddenly wasn't. I don't know what to take away really from this game. Of course, G2 is still fighting for that second place spot, but it's out of their control. They are in fact looking for, they're hoping for Rogue to lose today's game and tomorrow, and then maybe they can secure that second spot.
And even then, it's like, I'm not sure if getting second spot actually gets them much more. Because
it's interesting, because for your key player of the game at LEC, you actually have the choice of Wunder, or Wunder. Let us know. Or you can also the true
vote.
doctor is.
You can also vote for Razork for that really cool super duper flip. The super duper flip.
Wait, what do you mean? Why is he not on the list anymore? Why is he not on the list anymore?
It's Perkz, Mikyx.
Why is he not on the list?
Only one doctor in the
Why is he not on the list?
Move it on, I can't dance for long. Let's go.
What do you mean blame Alice? Kevin's in my ear right now. Kevin's saying that somehow he doesn't have the power. Kevin has all the power. What happened to Kevin?
What a shame. What a shame. But I do think Caps, Perkz, and Mickey were the best players on the team that game. And it was great to watch them. When we return, though, it's time for our match of the week. Mad Lions looking to secure a spot at Worlds.
I'm going to look for a new doctor.
Use Stormbringer, use defensively. Jankos.
Shadow!
He got the Perkz! He got him!
Just leave it to Shadow to find that insane play on the Lee Sin. Larson is the best team-fighting mid laner in the LEC. Right now, you have to hit him early. They failed to do that, and here they go again.
Rogue versus Mad Lions is possibly the most anticipated rematch of summer. If either Mad or Rogue win the Summer Split, their spot at Worlds is guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, Worlds is the only thing that's on our mind. If we wouldn't make Worlds, it would be a massive disappointment.
Rogue is a team that are winning games by cheesing a lot, but it's not gonna work against the best teams, which is why I think they are gonna lose to us.
You don't have a chance against me. I can calculate 90 trillion moves in advance. Not fair. Not fair.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Got a feeling nothing is forever. Keep your voice low. The sun is high, but I wish I could bathe in the moonlight. Ooh, this is it now. Come out of the shadow. Make the walls fall. Memory is headed for disaster. Heart is beating so. I hear the words, I see the ghost of laughter in the afterglow.
welcome back to the LEC here after G2 Esports win against Misfits Gaming, and I have Wunder with me to talk about this victory. Thank you for joining me, Wunder.
No problem, thank you for interviewing me.
As always, I'm looking at my notes right now because I see that in the beginning I wrote G2 is back at speedrunning games, but it took like 37 minutes to close it out. So how come it takes you guys so long? You were so ahead.
Yeah, so I think what happened was I was smurfing pretty much throughout the entire game, getting no resources. My team was only playing bot mid together. And then once I got really fed, my team just thought it was a free win. So they decided to fight without me for some reason. I think we were like knocking down the inhib towers at like 18 minutes, but then they decided to take like 2-3 fights without me, not letting me just carry them as I should be able to. So I think honestly my team just they just dropped the ball. They tried to be a bit better than they actually are. I think they're forgetting like all the misplays they made just because we're on a winning streak now. They're starting to get really cocky. So I think that's basically just what happened.
Yeah, I mean, and you had to carry them through all this. I mean, how is it playing with teammates who don't even listen to you and don't even respect the fact that you are carrying them actually?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like I'm just picking Dr. Mundo, right? And they just think I'm trolling in Champ Select. So like it's actually a legit pick, even though I haven't played it in like a couple of years, right? It's like pretty strong. So I don't know why they actually don't listen to me when I'm like so super smurfing. But yeah, I mean, they each their own, right? They can do whatever they think is the best. They will just have to like adjust a bit for playoffs. Otherwise, with how they're playing, we will not be able to win.
Yeah, thank God you're in the team. I mean, hopefully they can listen to you before playoffs, because otherwise it's going to be a bad history. And I mean, you were mentioning the Dr. Mundo here. It's a champion that we haven't seen since summer 2018, if I can remember. You're saying that it's a really nice champ, that it's actually not troll. So why? And why here against Misfits? Why did it make sense?
I mean, we kind of wanted a tank, I think. I mean, Sett is normally fine as a tank, but I think with the comp we were going for, tank is pretty nice. I knew that my team was going to play only bot side, so I could just be left alone to myself. And yeah, I mean, it used to be a pick into Cho'Gath, actually. I think it's not that strong anymore, Dr. Mundo, as it was in the meta back then, but it still works. And I think even though Caitlyn was like a little bit too OP when I went on him, he could actually just 1v1 me for some reason. I think Riot has to maybe take a look at that. But besides that, I think it's actually pretty strong.
Yeah, well, good time that you were having a good performance on the champion, and hopefully it's not a troll champion. We can actually see you play it again. Does that mean that you can actually put out new picks? Because talking to Grabs yesterday, he was telling me that the meta was a bit strange right now, and that you couldn't be as creative as you guys used to. So,
I mean, playing a champ like Dr. Mundo is not like that fun, you know, so I'm not like that excited to be playing it. It's not like, wow, I'm playing Dr. Mundo, I'm so creative, but it's a champ you can play nonetheless. I mean, it's a tank, right? So it will always work.
Yeah, you know what, Wunder, I'm glad that you're having fun overall, really. Thank you very much for this interview. Before I let you go, we're going to have the match of the week after that, Rogue versus Mad. Who takes it and why?
I think Matt takes it. I don't actually think Rogue is very good. Matt is... I think Matt has like their ups and downs as well, right? They could actually lose a game to any team, but I think in current form and like with current, I guess like how their players just play right now, I think Matt should be better pretty much across all roles. So.
All right, well, strong words here, and thank you very much for the fun interview, Wunder.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back in a few minutes for the match of the week, Rogue versus Mad Lions. Stay tuned. Oh, they're here. Playing ball. Nice.